The financial mistake that seems normal but traps you for decades. Let me ask you a simple, yet uncomfortable question. You work, receive your salary, pay your bills, live your life, and yet you feel like you're never getting anywhere? It seems like the money comes in, but then disappears. Time passes, years go by, and the feeling is always the same. Constant effort, almost no progress. The problem is that this isn't bad luck. It is not a lack of intelligence, it is not a lack of willpower. It is a financial mistake so normal, so accepted, so common, that nobody questions it anymore. And that's exactly why it traps people for decades without them realizing it. From a young age, we learn that the right path is to study, work hard, get a stable job, and that's it. The implicit promise is clear: if you do everything right, the money will sort itself out. But almost no one stops to analyze whether this is really working. Most people live on autopilot. They work more when things get tight, accept overtime, trade time for money, and believe that this is synonymous with financial responsibility. And it is the critical point. Working hard isn't the mistake. The mistake is believing that this, alone, solves your financial life. What traps people isn't the work itself, but the total dependence on it. When all your money depends exclusively on your monthly effort, you don't have income, you have a temporary license to survive. If you stop, the money stops. If something goes wrong, everything collapses. And this is treated as normal. Normal to depend on the next paycheck. Normal not to have savings. Normal to postpone important decisions. Normal to think that investing is only for those who own a lot. This sitch of normalities creates an invisible, comfortable, silent, but extremely efficient prison. The most curious thing is that this doesn't only happen to those who own little. There are the people who own well above average yet remain trapped in this cycle. Their salary increases, but so does their standard of living. The car gets better, the rent goes up, fixed expenses grow. In the end, the same thing remains, almost nothing. And then the feeling of frustration arises. How is it possible to own more and remain in the same place? The answer is simple and harsh, because the mistake isn't in how much you own, it is in how you use the money. There is a huge difference between owning money and building wealth. Owning money is a monthly event. Building wealth is a silent, repetitive, and often tedious process. Almost no one wants to deal with the tedium of building. People prefer the adrenaline rush of consumption, the momentary feeling of reward. Buying something new gives immediate pleasure. Saving money doesn't bring applause, doesn't give status, doesn't generate instant dopamine. That's why the mistake seems normal, because it is emotionally comfortable. The biggest financial trap of adult life is organizing everything to function only as long as nothing goes wrong, as long as health is good, as long as the job is secure, as long as no emergencies arise. The problem is that life doesn't work that way. At some point, something happens. It could be a job loss, a health problem, an unexpected family event, an economic crisis. And when that happens, those who live solely on a paycheck discover that they haven't built freedom, they've built fragility. Many people believe the problem is owning too little. But if owning too little were the real villain, people who own well would all be at ease, which is clearly not true. The real problem is living in reaction mode. Money comes in and you react by paying bills. If there is something left over, you react by spending it. If there is a shortage, you react by working more. At no point is there a strategy, only a response to the month's stimuli. This creates a tiring, anxious, directionless financial life. Meanwhile, there is a smaller group of people who play a completely different game, not because they are smarter, but because they've understood something fundamental. Money that isn't managed becomes an invisible boss. It controls you. It defines your choices, your fears, your decisions. When you understand this, you realize that the real financial mistake isn't spending. It is never becoming the master of your own money. Being an owner doesn't mean having a lot. It means having control. It means deciding what to do with the money before it arrives. Most people do the opposite. They wait for their paycheck to arrive and hope there is something left over. This never works consistently. Those who build stability decide beforehand. They define percentages. They create rules. They automate decisions. because relying on willpower is one of the biggest financial illusions that exist. There is a modern form of slavery that does not use chains, but bills. It does not use whips, but deadlines. It does not physically force you, but psychologically. You wake up every day knowing you need to work because you depend on it. Not because you love what you do, but because you have no choice. And the most perverse thing is that this is sold as normality, that is just how life is. No, life is not like that. This is a system that works very well to keep people busy, not free. The mistake is compounded when you believe that investing is only for those with surplus money. In reality, investing is precisely what creates surplus. Those who wait to have surplus money till start, never start. Those who start small create the habit. In the habit, over time, becomes much more powerful than the initial investment. Time in the game is worth more than money at the beginning, but this requires giving up comfort now to have options later. Almost no one wants to make the trade-off. Another point that is rarely discussed is that most people organize their financial lives around consumption, not security. First comes the desired standard of living, then they try to fit the money in. The correct approach would be the opposite. First comes the foundation, then comfort. When you reverse this logic, any increase in income becomes temporary relief, not transformation. And this explains why so many people live financially exhausted, even when they are productive. The climax of this reflection occurs when you realize that working harder does not solve a structural problem. Working harder might help in the short term, but if the structure remains the same, the result will also be the same. You can run faster, but if you are on a treadmill, you stay in the same place. The error is not in the speed, it is in the system. In systems aren't overcome with effort, they overcome with strategy. The real financial turning point happens when you stop asking how much do I own, and start asking how much of my money works for me. At first, the answer might be almost nothing, but simply asking that question changes everything. Because from then on, every financial decision has a different criterion. You begin to see money as a tool, not as a reward for effort. Financial freedom is not about stopping work. It is about being able to choose. It is about not panicking in the face of unforeseen events. It is about not depending exclusively on a single source. It is about sleeping soundly knowing that time is on your side, not against you. And this is not built with giant leaps, but with small decisions repeated over a long period. The problem is that nobody teaches this. What is not taught seems invisible. Perhaps you are listening to all this and thinking it is too late. That it is no use now. This is just another mental trap created by the same mistake. The best time to start was years ago. The second best time is now. Time will pass anyway. The difference is whether, 10 years from now, you will be grateful for having started or wondering why you didn't. If this video resonated with you, comment below with the word consciousness. This helps reach more people and shows me that you no longer want to live on autopilot. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos, because we don't talk about easy money, we talk about smart money. And leave a like, because the way this content reaches more people who are also trapped in this mistake without realizing it. See you in the next video.